All right. Hello, everyone. It's Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting. I can't talk today.
Yeah.
And my good friend.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way. Glad to be back.
Yes. And it's Friday, which is another edition of Q&A with Alan and Marshall, the show where we kind of just make it up as we go.
Isn't that life, though? Isn't that our industry? Every day's an adventure.
Yeah. So if you're watching, we really want you to say hello, and please remember that this is a Q&A show, and that means that we need your questions, we need your comments. It's all about engagement, and if you don't help us out with that, it's just Alan and I talking.
We don't need that.
We want your comments, and so it's been a busy week, and I don't know about you. Our van had our transmission light come on.
Mhm.
We took it in to get it looked at, and we think it's just some sort of transmission switch that tells that tells the transmission that the engine's working, right?
Yeah.
And so we got one quote. And then we got another quote, and the other quote was half the price. And so that's what's going on here in Arizona.
You gotta wonder, half the price. Oh, let's go to the cheapest one, or why is one?
We've been looking for a new car, right? And so we've been going to a dealership. So we went to the dealership first, and they were half the price as the place, or just the normal repair shop around the corner. And I'm glad we checked it out because it was just crazy different. And oh, wow, we got lots of people watching. So let's say hello. We have Cindy watching from YouTube. Thank you, Cindy. And Daryl's watching. Good to see you, Daryl.
Daryl.
Mike's watching. Good morning. Kisa's watching. The block is here. Congratulations. And she just did her first event with her new trailer. Alan, did you know that?
I saw that online. I haven't looked into it, so congratulations, Kisa.
Marsha's here, checking in from Atlanta. Go Braves.
Love you, Marsha.
Peter's watching. Greetings from M&R. Sean's here. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Yost is here from Sweden. Good morning. So you were just on two regular guys. So you're just not working. You're just watching TV.
But also 3 in the morning in Sweden too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Right. Remember, let me know if you're getting a Subaru. Thanks, Sean. We were looking at the Forester, so I'll let you know about that. Charles says, "Hey guys."
We were talking about Augusta being 3 in the morning. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but a few weeks ago, him and I were talking privately on Messenger, and he has such a great. It looks like I'm going to say Augusta a great life. Besides garment decorating, he has herding dogs, Australian,
like a collie.
They're like Australian shepherds, Australian Trekkies, I think he called them. I forget what they are, but it was cool. He was showing me videos of them that he trains. He has a B&B, so him and I were talking. So we feel when we take Q&A with Alan and Marshall to Sweden, we have the place to stay. He's got it set up. He thinks Charlie needs to come, and we just do that. That would be the bomb.
Yeah, well, we'll have to figure that out.
I think so. It was so great. So, Augusta, thank you for sharing that with me.
Right, and he says, and having food, and they're Australia Kelpie.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a Kelpie. I'll have to look that up.
He made it up.
Oh. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, Keith Burwell's here. Hey. So thanks for watching, guys. So let's get right into some stuff. And our first topic today is really about community. And I think you wanted to talk about some stuff. So take it away.
So I want us all to remember during this time, that we have competitors in the industry. Some of us have different political views and stuff, but we are a community. And even though without trade shows, we have to remember, I want to thank everyone, because we live in the greatest technological advancements in the world. We can talk online, we can talk on the phone, we can talk in email, we can leave messages. As you all know, I've been away for a couple weeks. I have had some health issues. I have ongoing respiratory issues, which I've had my whole life. I want to thank, first of all, our community for Tom Round jumping in last minute. And then last week, Kristen Shreve did a great job. But some of you who've known me a while knew when I go dark like that, there's a problem. Marshall and I have kept in touch, as friends. And I appreciate the calls and the text I got. Lon Winters, Richard Greaves, that second week, he knew something was up, calls me on a Sunday morning video from Bangladesh. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank everybody that reached out. I know Sean and I talked a little bit. I was still under the weather. And excuse me. So if you hear me cough and mute, that's why.
Just slow down, Alan. Take your time. We have a whole hour to kill.
You have to remember to breathe deep when I'm talking. But I want to thank everybody. Dan Solomon texted me from Poly One. So thank you, everybody. And I want us to remember we are a community. I know when we want to rejoice, not to draw faith into this, but the Bible says, we want to rejoice when others rejoice, and we want to weep when others weep. We want to be there. And I know when Michael was sick, we were all praying for him. We were there for him. When Jim Kazakzar and all of us. And even though we don't say the specifics, it is life. We got to remember, all we do are T-shirts. Let's not take it too seriously. And community is what counts. And I appreciate everybody, the friends I have here. Some of you have met, some of you I haven't, but thank you so much.
Right. And let me say, we started this show just kind of as a lark, really, and everybody kind of knows that. And I missed Alan the last 2 weeks. And although Tom and Christine did a good job, it was, I don't know if you guys know, but usually before the show, Alan and I kind of hang out for 30 or 45 minutes just shooting the breeze about some stuff. And so it's like I missed that time. You get used to doing something and then it's different. It's weird, right? But what's really great about this industry, I think, is that I think we generally care about each other. And I know that some other industries, they are like at their throats, right? And I think one of the blessings of being in this industry is the fact that it's a big tent kind of a community. And even though you might sell shirts or you might sell equipment or ink or whatever, everybody knows each other. We see it, especially if you go to a lot of events like Alan and I do. There's a moving band of gypsy tribes that go to these trade shows and stuff, and we see each other all the time. We see each other in the networking events. We see each other at the food court or in line to get coffee, and of course we all have a meeting to go to or something usually. But we see each other all the time, and we get used to having these folks around. And then when they're not there, it's kind of odd, right? And
I think over the years, we've grown together. We've been there with people, at least talking to each other on the good times and bad times of their life. I see David Boulding from Nasdor's First One is watching. And, David and I have known each other, Dave, I don't know how long, but I was a very young sales guy for J Products in the late 80s. And David was working for Podgore Corporation in the 80s. And we met at, I think, Wilflex Distributor Conference. And these are things that, we just keep, growing with each other. We were both young and everything at the time. And now we're in our 50s. And, we've been through stages of life with everybody. Marcia, for 30 years with Impressions, just a mainstay who we all know. And it's just friends. And, sometimes we get into the business part and, I think we never want to forget that we are people, we care about each other. And if we don't care about each other, then we don't need to be doing this.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, once we get back to doing stuff in person, I don't even want to know what that barbell is going to be.
Just, I want to hang out with people.
Hang it and just hang, because half the fun of going to these things is hanging out and just finding out about their spouse or the kids or, just because we know each other from, the business thing, but it's just, getting everybody to know about their people and what's going on. And it just, that's really the fun part of stuff. And, and I really miss that, just kind of just the hangout. Right. And, and of course, we speak at the trade shows. I don't know if everybody knows this, but there's a speakers lounge that's kind of our little clubhouse. Right. And usually if we're not doing something, there's folks hanging out in the speakers lounge and we just kind of chit chatting there. And a lot of really interesting things have happened in there.
Yeah.
So, but let's acknowledge some people real quick. Let me scroll up. Kim says hello from Oklahoma.
Kim, how you doing?
How you doing? And then Cindy says, some customer, can I grumble? A long-time customer drops off a bag that is ripped and wants me to just run a stitch down the side where it has come apart. It is a piece of junk. So, Cindy, you sell bags. How come you just sell them a new bag, right? I don't know. But I understand weird requests from customers, right? Totally get that. Hope you get well, totally.
Thank you, Cindy.
Mike says, get well, right? Yosta says, we miss you. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you, Yosta.
Moving band, a gypsy tribe. I love that. Proud to have been a part of it for so long. And Mark, you're still part of it. What are you talking about? You're just in a different group.
Wasn't it Aaron Montgomery from Two Regular Guys who actually says he didn't call us gypsies, but we're like carnies.
Carnies, maybe that's a better word, right? Okay, sorry, I had to get some coffee.
All right.
Peter says, David Bowling's birthday's today. We're going to sing happy birthday to the show.
I can't sing right now.
I'll sing it.
Go ahead.
Later. Charlie's here. Good morning, Charlie.
Morning, Charlie. Charlie, I owe you a phone call. I'm so sorry.
And Mike says, hope you feel better. Health issues suck, but if you need to take care of yourself, just remember you didn't get sick overnight, so take some time. My doctor said it would take 8 to 10 weeks. I thought he was crazy. Well, I was the crazy one, so take your time, Alan.
Thank you, Michael. And, I was going to say something, except there's the owner of Easy Way.
Yeah. You should be fishing. Yeah, how come you're not fishing?
David fishes a lot. He has place on there. But, Michael, I agree. This is going to take some time. Since I had pneumonia a few years ago, mostly it's energy level. Work's been great. The companies I work for have been awesome. So, and that's not just because John Schluter is, but much support. That helps a lot.
Yeah. But, and David said his birthday is just a rumor. Eric says, welcome back. And then Cindy says, she's a promo salesperson. She sells bags too. Oh, I see. She should know better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So community, I think, is really important. And, there reminds me of the quote that I think everybody has heard, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Right. And so I'm happy, Alan, that you're in my average. Because we've been hanging out a lot lately, I guess.
We are also. Then it would come down to people at work and customers that I'm tight with. And
Well, cool. All right. So you ready to get to the next topic?
Let's do it.
Before we all start coughing or crying or something? So this is this. So remember the basics.
Yeah.
And, so this week I've had a lot of interaction with just a bunch of shops, all walks of life, from beginning shops to more advanced shops, and it's really funny, Alan. Some of the challenges people are having is because they're forgetting step 3 of something, you
Yeah.
know, and they know better, right? And I don't know why people just like they just skip over stuff. Like they've been doing it one way forever for 10 years or something, and then suddenly they just quit doing stuff, right? Or they know how to code a screen, and then they just read something or watch something or whatever, and then they go they it's self-doubt creeps in, right? And it's just really about this industry is all about standards, eliminating variables, having a process, doing things in the right order at the right time with the right controls, with the just doing these things, right?
I agree.
It doesn't matter if you're a screen printer or a heat press or you do embroidery or whatever. The settings that you have really matter on some of this stuff. So you could be, if you change your heat press and use the wrong time or temperature or pressure, you're going to get a different result.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And sometimes we adjust the settings because there's a different substrate or something, right? And we forget to go back, and then we have all this craziness that happens. And the same thing happens with embroidery, with tension or needle size or whatever, right? And we forget to do the adjustment back. And so I think it's one of these things. I think I want to say at least 4 or 5 times this week I've talked to somebody, and they have just forgotten the road.
Yeah.
And for some reason they've peeled off down this cul-de-sac, right? And they're doing something different, and they don't even realize it. Right? Have you encountered this?
Every day, every day for my whole career. I think we have, and you said it, you hit it right on the head, Marshall, that what we do is garment decorating, but we have to remember in all of it, it is manufacturing. And if you screw up or change something in step 1, it is going to affect step 3. And I do this when I teach seminars on screen printing, that I say it is 5 fundamentals. It is a manufacturing process. And with processes, you have to have standards. I'm not an expert in embroidery. Listening to our friend Eric Campbell on the Take Up, you have to have your processes. That thread, that needle, that speed is not going to work for everything on that garment, that backing. And you have to have processes with heat applied. You have to have processes. Some things you can apply on top of each other. Some things you have to do separately. Glitter can't go on top of glitter, and you have to know how to do that. I see all the time of someone in their reclaiming area going, this chemical isn't working. Well, why isn't it working? I'm getting staining. Well, the stains, I have to now be a detective. Are your stains ink stains, or are they emulsion stains? Or they're emulsion stains. What's changed? And of course, the answer we get is nothing. So I always start with people and say, I'm going to ask you 1,000 questions. It's not because I think you're stupid, but I'm trying to get a mental picture. And usually they have changed a procedure, a code, an exposure, or not check those procedures.
I'll tell you, I had a big challenge once when I was running a shop. We had an auto screen cleaner, those big machines that clean the screens for you, right? And then it just quit cleaning. It's like, what has changed?
Yeah.
Right? Well, instead of following the formula, right?
Yep.
The guy just added water to fill the tank up, right? So what does that do? That dilutes the concentration of the active ingredients of the stuff, right? And so what happens is the thing didn't work right.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and of course, as a leader of the company, I mean, you're not there when the person's doing it. And of course, nobody wants to admit a mistake. So it's only through the Spanish Inquisition do we find out what's going on, right? And so it's one of these things we have to understand things. And what I did after that is I made it really simple, and I got buckets. How many buckets? Fill it up to this line. It's one of these, two of these, and it's like you just fill it up and you add it in. And there was a real simple icon graphic thing.
Yep.
Because the person who was doing this was, was a Spanish speaker, didn't even speak English, right? And so that was really, he just didn't know, right? All he knew is the tank had to be full. Because every time you clean a screen, there's a, what is it, a half ounce or an ounce or stuff that travels with the screen because the screen's wet, And so we were doing 300 screens a day. So that's a lot of product that's leaving the chamber, right? Yep. So eventually you have to fill it up. And so it's just one of these things where it's my fault because I didn't train the guy better, right? If you want to think about it. And when you do your 5Y, that was always the funny thing about doing 5Y exercises is you realize it's always your fault, right?
Always. It all goes uphill.
Yeah. So, but it's just one of these things where there's a step missing. And here's the thing. This doesn't have to be about a production. This could be in your art department. This could be in how you digitize. This could be in how you sell or how you market or how you're developing what you're going to be doing for the holidays. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Or Q1 for next year for sales, right? It's in everything. And when you skip a step, you might not realize it, right? So we have to really do things in our friend Richard would this is where he starts screaming about using a checklist usually, right?
Exactly. Well, I think you're right, because we have to remember with machinery, and I come across this all the time, automated reclaiming machinery and automated machinery does not have eyes. It does what it does. So what have you done to put in there? What are the changes on it? And you have SOPs. I had a client that had just a safety clean system, and he was running a product of ours through it and just said, hey, I cut it half with water. I'm like, wait, what? That product doesn't get cut with water. He was having all kinds of issues. Well, he wasted 30 gallons of it and, had to have it hauled away. That's not the manufacturer's fault. That is, I'll take the blame. I'm his tech rep for not explaining it.
Right.
Yeah, you have to remember these machines do not have eyes. Your press does not have eyes. It's doing what the screen and squeegee are telling it to do, what the artwork is telling it to do.
Yep.
What changed. I also think, Marshall, too, and loved your opinion on this. I see people while the internet, because we're on there, has done so much, I see people, instead of asking and talking to the people who know, of just asking an opinion. And then they get 1,000 opinions of these faceless people and faceless shops of what works in their shop or what they think, and not asking the question. When there's an ink question, you call your ink rep. If your distributor can't help you, find a new one. Call the manufacturer. I have actually called people that are clients of mine going, what are you doing? Why would you ask that online? Because now you have 1,000 opinions without asking the question.
Well, some people like to stir the pot, Alan. Come on.
You have my cell phone number. You have my email. You have Rob Coleman's email. You have Marshall's. You have Richard Greaves. You have Lon Woodard's. This one guy, I kind of went off. I go, you have the top people in the industry. What are you doing? You want to fix the problem, or do you just want to talk online?
Yeah.
You have to remember the basics are print garments, manufacture garments, do it well, do it quickly, ship it, invoice it. Done. Get paid.
Yeah. Right. And I think the other thing to remember is, are you using the thing properly?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to enough shops, and they would have an equipment issue, and I go, well, where's your owner's manual for that press? And they have no idea.
Yeah.
Right. They have no idea where it is. Right. And Peter, if you're still here, right,
Yep.
You can download the owner's manual for any model of anything, usually on these manufacturers' websites. And you can get the owner's manual because a lot of the information, the part numbers, all that stuff is in there. And that's how you solve the problem. And I think that everybody's first response right now, I think sometimes, is to post on Facebook rather than try to really just figure out what's going on. And, I understand that because we're humans and humans are kind of lazy and we know that somebody knows the answer. So I'll just post this real quick. But I think a lot of times you already have the answer and you just need to be more resourceful for what you have. So there's a spec sheet for that chemical or that emulsion or that ink. There's the owner's manual for the press. Sometimes there's videos about how to do this stuff that manufacturer has made for you to learn from. Have you watched those?
Yep.
And what I can tell you is even software, right? I've done some stuff with software for a while, and I can tell you that people go to great lengths to make training videos for you. And when I go to shops, usually their biggest problem is there isn't a subject matter expert in the shop. If there is, there's only one. And why is that? Right. So if you're using Printavo or Shopworks or, whatever, right? Inksoft, Order My Gear, it doesn't matter. Usually there's only one person who knows everything instead of having everybody being experts and knowing how to use it. And the results are varied because so-and-so is doing it their way instead of the shop standard way of doing something. Mm-hmm. So the reason Remember the Basics is up here is because you need to have a baseline of how your shop is doing it. This is our way to do whatever the process is. And that's what you train for. That's how you hold people accountable. Yeah. Make a little video of how you're doing it. What should the results look like? All that kind of stuff. And that's really going to help you get new people up to speed faster, but also let older people remember, oh yeah, step 3 is this.
Yeah. Okay. I think also too, Marshall, we have to remember sometimes with the internet and we are more connected. Sometimes we get this pie in the sky, we don't think it, but we go, I want to be like that shop. Well, you're not that shop.
Yeah.
And I think about always the late great Al Petsy used to say on emulsion, your shop, your conditions, your parameters.
Yep.
We have to remember that you have to come up with operating procedures for your shop. Don't worry what the shop down the road, across the country, and online is doing and what they say.
Well, there's a big difference between, I'm in Mesa, Arizona. Shops that work here, their procedures probably, especially in the screen room, are probably different than somebody in Orlando, Florida, or Tacoma, Washington, or in, wherever, Sweden, right? So, we have to do what's right for us. And we have to dial that in and know what the process is. And then also really understand that there's a change of seasons.
Absolutely.
And there's these crazy in-between periods. Today, Alan, here in Mesa, we're so excited because this is the first day we're not going to be in triple-digit temperatures. It's going to be 99 as the high today.
I don't know what the high is supposed to be here.
That's just something that I read earlier today. So the shops that are here run differently than somebody else. So we have some comments. Let's throw them out there real quick. So Daryl says, in an analog world with digital footprint getting bigger, where do you guys see the future of web to printer industry? It's 100% print on demand using banks, Daryl, of DTG printers, banks. If you want to talk about this offline, I've been doing a lot of work in this lately. So, and happy to help you with that. And if you want to know what's up, let me do a plug. Where's my thing?
Do it.
I deleted it. Sure. I'm going to make it real quick.
Do it. So while you're doing that, let me interject.
Forge.com.
Yep.
Okay. If you want to know what to do with e-commerce and how to do print on demand, shirtlabforge.com. Go there. We've got an e-commerce event that's coming up October 23rd and 24th. One of our presenters is Kevin Oakley with Stoked on Printing. His whole presentation is on print on demand. We have another co-presenter, two presenters, Dale Manning and Mark Kaczynski. With Dale Manning works for OneLive.com and Mark works for Guten. They're co-presenting. Their thing is on print on demand. OneLive.com is Shopify's #1 customer. They sell, get this, $100 million worth of t-shirts in Shopify a year. And he's presenting at Shirt Lab Forge, and they're talking about what they're doing. Guten is their print on demand partner.
Right.
So if you want to learn more about this stuff, I would suggest you check out shirtlabforge.com. And you've got two ways to join. $197 for just to do it, or you can join Shirt Lab Tribe for $49 a month and get in as a founding member. After Shirt Lab Forge, it's going up to $99 a month. So you get that $600 a year savings by joining. So,
yeah, I think this is a great question, because whether you're doing print on demand, meaning one-offs or anything like that, everybody, no matter what part of garment industry, if you don't have an online presence, I'm getting so tired of people going, well, how do I compete with Amazon? Easy, compete with Amazon. What are you doing on there?
Yeah,
the things it is. They make it easy, they make it painless, and do that. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Do you have online stores? Are you working this? And you have to do that for your business everywhere.
Right. Well, Kevin's shop is printing 24/7 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's people going, hey, there's no work. It's COVID. I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah, there are people.
You got it. Here's our word. Have you pivoted? Have you changed something? Are you doing something that's a little different to bring in more money? And what is that? Right. And for the guys at Stoke, they're placing heavy bets in print on demand, and they're signing up customers, and they're really putting a lot of emphasis on technology, getting their platform right, doing a lot of stuff. And so they're making that switch. So that's just something interesting.
I agree. Yeah. I think there's business out there. There are people I know that are putting on a second shift, and we are not talking. I'm finding, Marshall, the monster huge companies are struggling a little bit more, in the very, very small ones that are holed up in their basement going, I just want things to get back to normal. They're struggling.
There's no normal.
Yeah, there is no normal. There's now. And what are you doing? And everybody in between, if you're out there hustling, if you're out there working, you're busy.
Well, here's the thing. The monster huge companies, have they changed? Are they still trying to do business as normal?
Yeah.
Right. And so we need to be changing. We need to be adapting. We need to be meeting where our customers are doing and what's going on with them. Whether you're retail or contract or whatever you're doing, you need to be doing something differently, and you need to be, whatever that is, kicking ass in it. Right. And I'll just be blunt about that. So
it's called work for a reason. You got to work with that. Yeah.
So Carla says, good morning.
My man.
Citizenship says, can we ask questions? You can ask questions. Not sure who you are, but
questions
as
on
long as it's not weird. Support is essential on industry. So right, Alan. Peter says, to get an owner's manual, just all you need is a serial number and go to the website and you can get one.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter.
And Keith says, was just at Kevin's shop in Vegas last week. There you go.
All right. I love it when people visit each other's shops and share.
Yeah, right. That's how you grow. The reason why Alan and I know a lot of the goofy stuff that we know is because we've taken the time to actually go to places, right? And it's part of our job, is how we get paid. But we learn a lot when we go, and we find out, oh, that's a cool way of doing it, and that just gets filed into file number 883, right? I'll use that later. So
there is the odd time where you write down things, you make a little mental note of things not to do.
Right.
I actually had a guy give me a shirt one time. He goes, "Will you use this in a seminar?" I said I could. And then we got talking later, and he goes, "Are you going to use that as an example of what not to do?" And I looked at him. I go, "What do you think?" I want it back. I said, "What's wrong with it?" And that brought the discussion. But it was awful.
Yeah, I take lots of pictures, and usually and I don't like to embarrass people, so
yeah, I would never mention their name, but I would use that print.
Right. I posted a blog article a couple weeks ago. It had some extremely messy buckets on it, and they're like, "Why did you post that?" And I'm like, "To get your attention." Because
here's the worst thing. I actually had an ink manufacturer. I will not mention their name. About 3 years ago, I'm at an MBM show in Denver. I'm sitting there early in the morning, just having coffee. And they said, "Hey, we know you do seminars. We have some shirts. Would you ever?" I go, "Yeah, they're good." He gives it to me, and I look at it, and I go, "Who printed this?" He goes, "Guy, been doing it 30 years. I go, "Did he print on contact?" And they go, "Yeah." He said, "That's how he always does it." And I'm like, my mouth's hanging open. And I'm like, "Why would you give this to me?" And I still have the shirt, but it will be used as what and how to do. And
yeah. So did they change after that? I'm just curious.
I didn't know who the client was. And my thing, this little ink company, it's a smaller one. They didn't even know there was an issue. And I'm thinking, I don't know what the bigger problem is.
Right.
This is okay. Or you
well, hey, it's Kitson's quote. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right?
Sometimes you don't know, but you're in an industry where you better know.
Right.
Yeah. This is like, how do you sell ink and say this is your best printer? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not Poly One and not International Coatings, not WM Plastic.
Yeah. It's all right. So let's move to our next topic. Innovation on purpose. Okay. So why do I want to talk about this? Well, I had the pleasure to talk to Mark Gervais last night from China. And he runs the Ningbo Xingzhou, I'm sure I'm butchering the word, printing company in China. And so he posted on Facebook the most awesome print ever. It was just incredible. And so I wanted him to do an episode of my best t-shirt I ever printed series. And so we filmed that last night. And by the way, he's 15 hours ahead. So I talked to him last night at 7, and it was like 10 in the morning on Friday for him, And so it was like, so this wasn't an order. This was him building and innovating and designing a print for the award competition for the next FESPA or ISS show, which we don't even know when those are.
Whenever that may be.
Okay, yeah. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is they're doing this now when they get a minute, right? They have a little, there's a little space here, right? And so what they're doing is they're spending some time, and he's been working on this print, Alan, he told me, for 6 months. Right. And it's not like all the total 6 months every day he's working on it. It's just that's how long he's taken to do some stuff. And they're on their second set of separations. They did 2 sets of separations, and he's lucky enough to have Michelle Kaza do the seps. Right. So we'll just throw that out there. Right. And so it's like one of these things. The reason I want to talk about that today is that between now and the end of the year, there's going to be a moment where maybe you don't really have a lot of orders in the hopper, right? So I want you to be thinking about next year. I want you to be thinking about innovation and doing something that is beyond your grasp with technology or whatever, technically, right? And innovating and doing something that you don't know how to do and spending the time learning how to do it. And the reason that I'm advocating for this is that you are going to make yourself better because you're going to discover a new mesh count or a new technique or a new thing, and it'll be totally wrong, and you're going to be standing there scratching your head, and you're going to go back to the drawing board to make it better, and it might take you 2 or 3 tries, right? I'm working on a project right now for one of my clients, and we're doing something really, I can't talk about it because I have an NDA, but it's just, once we figure it out, it's going to be so badass.
Yeah.
Okay. And we've been working on it since the middle of the summer. Okay. And this is a on purpose thing. They're bringing it, once they figure it out, they're going to bring it to market, and they're going to be the only ones doing it. And it's going to be so awesome. Okay. And we're all on this, you know, our little path is different. Right. But what I want to kind of talk about here is that if you innovate, if you do the R&D, if you think of something new, right, when you bring it to market, everybody goes, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I ever thought of. You can take this to that client and that client and that client and that client. And like, you can sell that idea to multiple people, but you have to put the time in, right? And I think no better opportunity is for on purpose designing something for entering it into a contest where you're judged next to your peers.
Yep.
Right. And you probably, let me give you a tip. You're not going to win. Okay. Like the odds are already stacked against you. Right. But do it anyway. Right. Absolutely. What are your comments on that, Alan?
Well, I've had the fortune of judging some competitions for Golden Image at SGIA and Impressions, and it's incredible the work that's put out there. So do it. I think that, well, I'm getting feedback.
You sound good on this end.
Okay, cool. I think innovation on purpose has to be intentional, and the key is on purpose. Because when you start looking at a different process, a different technique, and I've seen the prints that Mark Gervais has done, the dragon print. It's incredible. I remember the first time I ever saw a lenticular print on a garment, and the late Joe Clark showed it to me, and it just was a mind blow. To this day, I'm not even sure how they do it. I know a little bit of it, but it's incredible. But I think everybody needs to be doing that. In screen printing, specialty inks are the best. Right now, are you working going, hey, can I do a little bit softer print or a little bit of height with a suede base? Wow, let's play with that and see. It can be a one color. But now you have something that most people don't want to try. You know, what about puff? What about HD? How do I do that to get some? There are so many textures that you can do, and you don't have to have an automatic. You can do it with a manual, and you need to be trying these going, what does that work? Most people try to do too much, but sometimes it's just an accent. You know, what about applying foil, even if you apply it manually? It's incredible.
Or printing over foil. Or there's a million things that we could be doing.
I love overprint water clears that just give it that gloss look on there. I think is amazing. What about in the heat applied? I watch videos from my friend Joe Piazza from Caesar, and the stuff he does of laying layers on top of each other and which ones go, whether it be a strip flock, whether it be an electric print or a glitter, it's incredible. What are you doing on these things? Eric Campbell shows things all the time on patches, on different embroidery techniques. And I had a client ask me, where do I get patches from? You know what? I watched Eric's video just a few weeks ago. I can point him in a direction.
Yeah.
And right now you have to be doing that. The award might not mean anything. It's nice to have, but what it does, it expands your business and gives you another tool in your toolbox that you can show your clients.
Yeah, I think the best quote is, or I don't remember what he actually said, was from Andy Anderson, right? So if he's closed the shop down now, but he had this hallway in between the office and production, and it was awards. I mean, how many awards were on that wall, Alan? I mean, I don't even know. Like
100 awards.
It is crazy amount. Okay. And he'll go, hey, that's all great, but that doesn't mean anything to my customers.
Yeah.
But what it means is he's learned technically how to do it better than everybody else. That made him the best. And he spent the time doing it. And so what I'm trying to champion here for you, it's kind of a challenge. It's just to think about between now and the end of the year, instead of taking that Friday off because you have nothing to do, what if you designed something that was beyond your reach and then tried to print it?
Yep.
What if you ordered, David Boulding's, maybe he's still on here. What if you ordered a different type of ink in a little sample kit, right? And then you learned how to use it, or you did it differently, or you did it differently on purpose. It's supposed to be used this way, but I'm going to do it this way just to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is where the innovation happens. Remember Rick Ross masking tape print? What was it, 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Where it just looked like a piece of masking tape on a shirt. It was like, how the hell did he do that? Right. Like, that's him goofing around, having an idea. Right. So you guys can be doing this. And I'm challenging right now, between now and the end of the year, you're going to right now we're ramping up for holiday and we're doing stuff, right? Thinking about Q1. I want you to be thinking about spending some time when you know that you're going to be down a little bit. You've got some free time. Instead of like going home, I want you to think about, on purpose, inventing a piece of art, inventing a process, doing something that's beyond your technical capabilities, and absolutely messing it up. and not worry about it, because you're going to learn what went wrong. And if you don't know what went wrong, reaching out to somebody, go, hey, this is what I tried. It didn't really work. Right. And then what happened? And then, okay, here's the answer. And then try again. Right. And then try again, and then try again. And then maybe the fourth or fifth iteration of it, it's like, oh, and then, oh my God, look what we did. Right. That's the aha moment. Right. And remember, and here's something to remember, when Edison invented the light bulb, right, it took him 10,000 tries.
Absolutely.
Okay. What number of try are you on right now? Right. Are you on try 2? Right. Yeah. It might take a minute. Right. Okay, so we got some comments, and then we got one last section to go. Kitson here says, afternoon.
Morning, Greg.
Daryl says, the known unknown.
Absolutely.
That actually was posted on that Facebook thing on Mark's deal. Mark said, Greg says, Mark is pushing the tech to the limit. Love his Fespa shirt.
Yep.
Kingdom Citizenship says, are you guys fan of contract printing? Why or why not? Of course we're fans. That's what I did my whole career.
Well, and I think Kingdom depends on what are you asking. Do you
have a question? Let's throw that out there. What do you want to know?
Are you looking to do contract printing or farm that out to someone? If you're brokering, contract printing is great because you need them. And find the right one. Right here online, Greg Kitson, right there. That's his whole business. He's the contract printer to screen printers on overflow and stuff. Yep. Your plug, Greg. Are you looking to do that? What about embroidery? There are people that do that. So the question is, if it makes sense for you, absolutely. If it doesn't, don't do it.
But if you want to be a contract printer, you absolutely have to have your numbers down and really know what is going on in your business. And if you don't, you're going to get burned. You're going to be out of business. So
and I think Mr. Kitson actually said, I've been in a shop many times, and his process is, he said one time, he goes, we're basically a just logistics company, and we print a few hours a day because when it comes to contract printing, that's what it is.
Well, let's be honest. The actual decoration, whether it's screen printing, embroidery, heat transfer, dye sub, what do you do? A lot of times, that's the easiest part of the whole order.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Cindy says she's got to go. Thanks.
Cindy, thank you.
And Yosta says goodbye. Right. So let's get to we've got, 10 minutes. Let's get to the last our last thing, which is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I want everybody here to watch something. So last week's my blog, I was talking about Shirt Lab Forge. And at the end of it, I have a video that we made for Shirt Lab Tribe. So this is what it looks like. And so I'm just going to play the beginning of it here. And so this is kind of the animation I made. I've got 7 speakers, starting off with Ryan Moore, who are talking about best Cyber Monday, Black Friday tips. And so this was made and created for Shirt Lab Tribe. We have a video area that we're doing called the Shirt Lab Tribe Research Center. This was the actual first video that we produced for that area because we're going to be doing much more. This was the first one we made. I've released it on my blog. You can watch it and not be in Tribe. And I want everybody to watch this. And because right now we're at the cusp of the holiday season. What are we doing? And whether you're a supplier, you're a printer, you're in the industry somehow, everybody's thinking about holiday. What should we be doing? Should we be doing, Black Friday, Cyber Monday? And there are some amazing ideas on this video that I want everybody to take advantage of. That's why I want you to share it. This is not a public, even though it's on YouTube, this is not public. It's only private. You have to watch it at a certain landing page because that's how private YouTube videos work. And it's on my blog, which is called E-commerce Help with Shirt Lab Forge. Okay. So it's down here at the bottom. I really want you to read the whole article, but if you don't want to read the article, just scroll down and watch the video. And I want you to get some help, okay, and be thinking about what's going on because everything is crazy right now with shipping, with freight, with inventory, with all kinds of things. And these guys did a really good job of talking about some ideas that I think you could use to plan what you're going to do. And that's the reason why I want you to watch the video. What are your thoughts on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Alan?
Well, one, if you need to be working on it now. If you haven't started, start. It is coming. There is opportunity there. I think, Marshall, as a guy that's more in operation, this is exactly what we were talking about. You have a way to set yourself apart. If you were doing the purpose innovation and even small little things right now, what a perfect way to set yourself apart for Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
It could be simple things on a design. Instead of going, it's white and red, maybe that little accent of red should be a red shimmer. Maybe I can do a little bit of a red foil on top of it or something. And those are things that set you apart, that drive your sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You have to be doing it now. And I think we get caught up in life. Life happens, but we have to, I think the key on the last one is on purpose looking at it. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are coming up. The question is, are you going to take advantage of it?
Yeah, and maybe your print smells like candy canes, right? Or chocolate. Right?
That's another thing, there are add.
Hey, your audio and stuff
and it's incredible.
Really going weird, Alan.
Is it really? I'm sorry about that. That might just be my voice. Is it better now?
Well, you've frozen up a little. Well, I don't know. It's like your internet connection is really crapping out.
I'm having some problems. I have full signal. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You know what you do? Why don't you log out and log back in, and I'll push you in, okay? So while we're waiting on Alan to figure that out, so let's just use Kingdom Citizenship's thing. He says, I avoid contract printing because it isn't as profitable as my normal jobs. Well, then you shouldn't do it, right? So here's my question for you do you have a business plan, and are you following the plan so you can work half as hard for twice as much, right? So if your business plan is really focusing on the retail side of things, why are you doing anything in the contract world at all? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. If you're a contract printer, then you know how to do things, and that's 100% your business, and it's all streamlined for that. Your business is built for that, and that's where you make your money because of that, right? So these are two different sides of the coin. I think a lot of people, they do some things with a contract printing, and then they to fill up time on their press, and they worry about that. And then I'll tell you what happens for a lot of people is they don't get it to where they need to be because they're worrying about their contract print stuff, and then that fills up their schedule, and then that backs them up and does a bunch of stuff. So don't think that you just have to do that to be in business because it's there. So I want you to have an on-purpose way of kind of thinking. So hopefully that helps you. All right, Alan, say something. Let's see if you're back.
I'm here. It looks like it is running a little slow. I don't know what to do.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's your Wi-Fi. Do you have do you have it on an Ethernet cable also?
No, I have it on Wi-Fi. I'm actually looking. I gotta. I'm having a little bit of problems, so I'm going to get some pods to put around the house so that it boosts it a little bit.
Well, hey, we're
not
almost
sure what it is. It says we're full signal, but
we're kind of at the end of the show. So I think it's a perfect time to kind of just not worry about the problem and just move on. What do you think?
I agree.
Okay, so we got a couple comments. Greg Kitson says, both of you guys need to brand the bottom of your drink cups every time you take a drink. Perfect opportunity to brand yourselves. Thanks, Greg. I can, but
that's
look,
a great idea.
It says it right here and right here, but maybe I need to do at the bottom. You're exactly right. I'll talk to my buddy Tom, who actually made this for me. And there you go.
Yeah.
And then Daryl says, hold on. Daryl says, see you later. And then Greg says, contract decorating is predictable cash flow unless you have a sales and marketing plan that you can follow to build your business, then use contract printers to take the overflow. So there you go. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we'll just leave it at that. And with that, I think we're just going to sign off for today because we're at the top of the hour almost. And Alan, I will call you on the phone, okay? So, all right. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Sounds good.
And we'll talk to you next week. And Alan, let's see if you can say goodbye here.
We'll see everybody later. Have a great week. Be safe.
All right. Take care. Bye.